everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to be making a very simple, comforting meal for dinner. This meal, I'm shortcutting it. You could make it the way you want, but I'm shortcutting it. And it's so simple. So simple. I'm going to be making Copycat KFC bowls. Now, instead of cutting up chicken, dipping it in egg, breadcrumbing it, and frying it, I'm cutting all that out. Going to be using breaded frozen chicken. But here's the difference. I'm going to be using a chicken brand called Real Good Foods. They make a whole line of products. I have no affiliation with these. I'm not getting paid. I'm not a sponsor. I'm just basically telling you about this chicken, which I find very healthy. It's got clean ingredients. It's low carb, but yet so high on flavor. Now, my husband, who's a big critic and can't stand frozen chicken, like breaded chicken, he's not a big fan of it. I didn't tell him I was making this because I made this before and he was blown away by it. He says he's never tasted something so good. He said it tasted just like the old Kentucky Fried Chicken when we were growing up. This chicken is juicy, it's flavorful, it's healthy, and it's low carb. So we're going to do that, and we're going to use, instead of making mashed potatoes, we're trying to make this simple now. This is a simplified yet delicious recipe. We're going to use our instant potatoes, our steamed bag corn. The only thing I did not sacrifice was the cheese, okay? Pre-shredded cheddar is good to a certain point, but I like grating my own because the coating that they put on the pre-shredded cheese, it's to prevent caking and sticking together because the cheese can stick together. And with that being said, it hinders the melting process thoroughly. It doesn't melt thoroughly. I don't know if any of you've ever noticed when you're using cheddar or maybe some mozzarellas that are shredded, pre-shredded, it just doesn't melt right. So I shred my own. I try to get these blocks of cheddars and mozzarellas or Colby Jacks or whatever, and I shred it. And I keep the rest in a Ziploc bag and in my cheese drawer in the fridge. So it's cost effective. It actually lasts longer. And I shredded some of that today, about a cup, and then we're gonna have gravy. And my son doesn't like the gravy, so he doesn't like gravy at all. So I'm going to put gravy on ours, my husband's and my bowl, but not our son. It's a very simple recipe, very simplified. If you are short on time but want something really good, this is the way I do it. You're going to preheat your oven, I think, to 425 or 450. When I'm ready to start in a little bit, I will let you know the correct temperature. You're going to line your baking sheet with parchment paper. You're going to once the oven's preheated, you're going to bake the chicken and you're going to turn it over at the halfway point because you want both sides equally browned. Now let them cool for a minute, and because these pieces are chunky, so they're big. They're not the typical chicken nuggets. Real Good Foods gives you some big pieces. So I'm going to cut them up. I'm going to make the homemade mashed potatoes, give a little bit of extra butter and seasoning in there, like a little bit of salt. Not too salty because the chicken has its seasonings in there and the gravy has its salt in there and cheddar has. I don't like my food overly salty, but I do not. So you're going to put your mashed potatoes on the bottom. You're going to put the corn on top of the mashed potatoes. You're going to layer it. Then you're going to put the chicken on top of the corn. And then you're going to put the cheese on top of the chicken and the gravy on top. Very simple, very easy, and very delicious. I've made this many times. It's our go-to meal when we don't feel like, well, mostly me, doesn't feel like making everything that takes a long time and the cleanup could be forever. So, with that being said, come join me and we're going to get started. This way, you can make this too. It's your kids will love it. If you have kids, they're going to love it. Who doesn't love mashed potatoes? When I grew up, I used to mix my corn with my mashed potatoes all at once on a plate. Sometimes I would put my mother's meatloaf. My mother's meatloaf was out of this world. I would put the meatloaf and the mashed potatoes and the corn all together on the plate and pour gravy over and eat it. It was absolutely good. That's the way I ate it. Anyway, with that being said, let's go start cooking. Okay, I just wanted to show you the Real Good Foods chicken that we're going to be using. It's 23 grams of protein, 4 net carbs per serving. It's gluten grain free. This is it. Chicken nuggets, and here's the ingredients I wanted to show you. It has chicken breast, water, chickpea flour, salt, whey protein, baking soda, paprika, garlic powder, onion powder, citric acid, celery powder, dried mustard, black pepper, thyme, basil, ginger, oregano, white pepper, turmeric, whole egg. And any allergies it shows here, milk and egg if you have that. And it's 400 degrees, foil lined. I use either sometimes foil or sometimes parchment paper. Parchment paper is also good. And you're going to bake it for 21 to 25 minutes and flipping halfway through. And you can also use it in an air fryer if you choose to do that. Now, excuse me, I'm going to be using it in the oven, and then I'm going to let it cool before I slice them up and cut them up, because the nuggets are like, there's one here that's in here that's that big. I mean, they are that big, but they're very good for you. So we're going to get started. Let's go. My oven is heating up at 400 degrees. We're going to wait for it to preheat fully. I used a non-stick aluminum foil on my baking sheet. I lined the baking sheet with the chicken nuggets. As you can see, these things are huge. That's why I say you have to cut them, because that is a huge nugget. And these are not chicken tenderloins. These are nuggets. If you see, they're really big. So we have them a little apart from each other. And they're going to bake for 21 to 25 minutes. And we're going to turn them over halfway through. And once they're cooking and they're done, then we'll make the mashed potatoes, and I'll show you the mashed potatoes. We got these. They're instant. All you need to add is hot water, boiling water. That's it. And I add butter to it. And then we have the gravy, and I have my cheese shredded up, and I'm going to show you the corn. Let's see where the corn is. There it is. And this is the corn. It's steaming. So everything is really simplified to make it easy, because today is a day we want to just be lazy and just take things back, have some comfort food, and make everything simplified. I got about 4 of these on this cutting board, the chicken nuggets. So they're pretty cooled down. Not cool, but you know, just they sat for a minute. So I'm going to cut them like so into just little pieces here. And then I'm going to do the rest. I'm just showing you what I'm doing now for this little bit. It's very moist. It does fall apart, and this is a very good brand, so you should try it. This cannot be microwaved, by the way. This chicken has to be either oven cooked or air fried. We have our corn going in the microwave. Right now I'm going to pour this potatoes into the bowl. And we have 2 cups of water rapidly boiling right now. So we're going to pour the hot water in. And I'm going to mix this up. And then I'm going to add a little bit of butter. Even though it says it's buttery, you can always use more butter when it comes to potatoes. I love butter. All the ingredients are done. We have our freshly grated cheddar, our mashed potatoes, our corn, our cut up chicken, and gravy. I'm going to build the bowl and show you when I get done. We now have our KFC bowl. We put the mashed potatoes on the bottom, the corn, the chicken, the cheddar, and the gravy. It is an easy recipe to make. It's simplified for people that are short on time or don't feel like making a large meal. And that's it for today's video. Thank you for tuning in. Have a wonderful day and have a wonderful week.